Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you a weekly reading update. I have tried and forced myself to make a November wrap up, but because it keeps getting postponed, I am not in the mood to film it any longer. And I feel a little bad about it, but I'm hoping that when New Year's happens and I'll get back to us, like 2021 happens, I will be back to a sense of norm with my schedule. I think it's been difficult because when I felt like filming, it's been too dark to film anything because it's yeah, the days are short these days, and I haven't had much time to film anything on the weekends. And when I had time, I didn't really feel like filming, so it's been a little bit of a difficult time for me. But I decided to try and film an update of some sorts today to let you know what I've been reading over the past week and see how that goes. So over the past week so far, I've finished 3 things this week. I have also I'm also in the middle of 3 other things, so I'll talk about those 6 books and let you know about what I'm working on. The first thing that I finished this week was Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is the first book in a series called The Scholomance. This is following some people going on this Scholomance university or some kind of thing. It's a magical school, but for university age. So we are following this woman who is not supposed to be a likable character, I think, and we're following her as she is trying to get through life at this place. And then there's this guy called Orion Lake, it says here, tries to save her when she's sort of attacked by these monsters, and he shouldn't have done that because she didn't want to be saved. And now she decided that she wants to kill him. It doesn't happen, but you know. What I liked about this is that the writing itself is interesting and it has some good things to it. The plot itself I didn't really care for. I think it's not that it was an unlikable character. I think sometimes that's definitely fine. I don't think that's what nagged me, but I felt like the plot itself just didn't have enough to go for it, so I was a little bored with it, and I wasn't, whenever things were happening, I wasn't emotionally invested in this, so I was sort of missing something. And there's been a lot of talk about this book not being very like, there's been a lot of negative talk about this book in terms of diversity, and that it has bad representation, and I don't think it has a lot of representation, and that maybe that's the problem. But I don't know. I haven't looked into the full gist of that, but I personally don't think I'm going to be continuing with the series, but I did enjoy the writing, so I'm gonna end up on a 3 out of 5 stars for this. Another book that I finished was Dead Ever After by Charlene Harris. This is the 13th and final book in the Sookie Stackhouse series. And this one I find difficult to rate because there are elements I liked in this, but there's also a lot of elements that I think were weird, and it wasn't really solved really well. There's a lot of loose ends, a lot of things that didn't really make sense in this. I don't know. I'm not pissed, but I'm also not super happy with it. I'm leaning towards a 2.5 or a 3 stars for this, but I'm thinking a 3 stars is alright for this final book. But I'm happy to say that I at least finished the series now, and yeah, so that's fine. The last thing that I finished over the past week was The Fox and the Hound by R.S. Gray. This is the first time I ever read a book by her. This is a contemporary romance. It follows this woman called Madeline, who has recently gotten this dog. It's as a puppy, but this turns out that the dog is a specific breed that is really large, big dog. I've forgotten what the breed was called. But I sort of figure like it must be something like between a Great Dane or something like that, or a St. Bernard stuff, so in that size range of a dog. And she got it as a puppy, not knowing this was the sort of breed she has. She's not used to having dogs, but she knew that if no one picked her up soon, it would be put down, and she couldn't live with herself if that happened. And what happens is that one day she's out walking the dog, and he gets a sense of a squirrel and wants to chase it, and obviously can't control it because it's already a really big dog, even though it's a puppy. And so it ends up running off, and she's trying to catch up to it, but then he gets notice of a different man who the dog attacks, and he becomes angry. And it turns out that that man is the vet of the dog, and that's how they sort of become acquainted. And it's their romance story, and it's just a really, really fun contemporary romance. It was just what I was looking for, and I found myself laughing like in numerous times with the situations that this person was in. Madeline was a really, really great character. I liked how she I liked that she was sort of a klutz, and she was really trying to work her way through life and had a difficult time with her job. She loved what she was doing, but she wasn't really getting any sales in. She's a real estate agent, and so she didn't get hardly any pay, and had a hard time living for what she got there. And then yeah, she has a lot of what I liked about this as well was that she has a really good relationship with her friend and her brother, and I enjoyed seeing that relationship. And yeah, I just overall really enjoyed this one. I'm definitely looking forward to reading more books by this author. I ended up giving it actually 5 stars because I was so into it and I couldn't put it down. So I'm really, really happy with reading that, and I will definitely get more books of hers in the future. They're all the same price on Kindle, so they're not very expensive, but they're also never on sale. So it's sort of, I'll just get them whenever I feel like reading another one. I'll get them for my Kindle. Also, as I said, I've recently gotten a Kindle, and I'm really, really happy with it because it's just a different reading experience when you read on an actual Kindle rather than my iPad. The eyes are not as strained after reading for a long time on it, so I'm really happy about that. So the 2 books that I'm currently working on, first up, I have, I think, 60 to 65% into On the Way to the Wedding by Julia Quinn. This is the last and final book in the Bridgerton series. This one follows Gregory Bridgerton, who is the youngest son of, it's not the youngest in the family, but he's the youngest son. The youngest is Hyacinth, who was the main character in the previous book. And we are also following the perspective of Lucy, who is sort of set up to be marrying this man from, like, she's more or less always known that her uncle set it up. And she doesn't really dislike the thought of it in the beginning, but obviously as she's thinking more and more and the wedding comes closer, she's questioning more and more if this is the right decision to do, because she doesn't love him. And then Gregory sort of at first is infatuated by Lucy's best friend, Hermione. So that's actually how they meet. She's trying to help him getting to know Hermione, and then things change, and I think it's such a fun story so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this will all end up, because, you know, we all know that when this story starts that Gregory and Lucinda is going to end up together, but the how they figure out that they are in love with each other is always the fun part of these books. So I'm enjoying that. I am also listening to The Murder on St. Nicholas Avenue by Victoria Thompson, the I don't know what book in the Gaslight mystery. I've lost count at this point. This is interesting because it's not actually Sarah and Frank that's trying to solve a murder. It is someone else in this series that's trying to solve a murder. But I think if you've read these books and read some of the books, you know who could also be in this. But I'm really looking forward to seeing where this will end up. There's a good reason why Sarah and Frank isn't part of this, but I won't tell you why. But I'm enjoying it, and hopefully we'll finish it on Monday. Yeah, I'm starting my my Christmas vacation on Tuesday. I have my last final day at work on Monday, so before Christmas, and then I'll have more or less 2 weeks off from work, and it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, the last and final thing that I'm currently working on is Something Wicked This Way Comes. I just started on it yesterday. I am 25 pages into it, so I'm not very far. But I'm hoping to finish it on Monday, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's very strange, mystical. The thing is that I really enjoy his writing style. I've said that before. There's sort of magical underlining tone to it, but this one is probably going to be a lot creepier than Dandelion Vine, for instance, because Dandelion Vine is set in the summer. It's more about, it has some melancholy tone to it as well, because it has some sad moments. It has some boys finally noticing that you're not going to live forever, that you're going to die one day, and that whole I think that whole thought process thing is captured really well in that book. And in this one it's different so far, because it's like a little bit more creepy. There's a magical carnival that came into town, but you don't really know why and how and where it is. And I'm looking forward to moving on in this, because they haven't actually found the carnival yet. They've just seen like ads for it. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and I am hoping to keep on enjoying it. And yeah, so those are the things that I'm working on. I'm really happy with my reading so far. December has actually been a good reading month for me, so I'm really happy about that. I was supposed to be a little longer now in Something Wicked This Way Comes, so I'm a little behind on my reading, my physical reading, but I'm ahead on my audio reading. So and considering I'm going on winter, summer, Christmas vacation, considering I'm going to go Christmas holidays vacation, like just around the corner, I hope that I'll be able to catch up on some of it those days, because I don't have plans every day. I do have plans with my family, with those that I've seen since the last couple of months. All of the people that I've seen the last couple of months has been my sister, my brother, my mom and dad, my sister's boyfriend, and my nephew. 7 people. So you're allowed to see up to 10 people, but you're not necessarily have to see them. But the only other person that I might see over the Christmas occasion is my uncle, because he is alone now. He and my aunt, they divorced earlier in the year, and my aunt has the kids this year, so he's on his own. So in order for him not to be on his own on Christmas, we have invited him to come. But he hasn't actually said he wanted to come, so I don't know if he's coming. I'm hoping so, because I don't want him to sit by himself. It's such a strange year, such a strange holiday we're going to be having. But I have bought a new board game, so I'm hoping we can like play that a lot over the vacation. Today we're going to go and find a Christmas tree with my nephew, my sister's boyfriend, and my dad. As a sort of a tradition that we're going to find a tree, and I think it's going to be fun for my nephew now that he is 2.5. He knows what's going on. And yeah, this was my update for today. Let me know what you've been working on, how you're doing, if you're okay. I think the situation here in Denmark is crazy. My area is finally going down in the like infected people, but every day you see the numbers and it gets worse and worse. A couple of weeks ago, Denmark went into the I don't know what you call it. In Denmark we call it black zone, because it's like when you're above a certain number of infected per day per, like, is it 1 million people? Denmark went into the highest category, so I'm really not really happy with that. And it's because people have started to not care about all of the restrictions. So like this week their government made new restrictions. All of the centers, like shopping malls, have been closed. There's still stores with doors out to the open space that is allowed to be open until the 25th, but from 25th and onwards everything's going to be closed down. No stores will be open unless it's like a convenience store, grocery stores and stuff, pharmacies, so you can get your medical supplies and stuff. So it's a bit of a strange situation, and if we're going to have fireworks for New Year's, we're going to buy them. We have to buy them before Christmas, which I don't think a lot of people are used to. So yeah, this was a long overdue update. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that you will take care of yourself and try to find some joy every day, see some positive every day, because we all need just a little bit of positivity every day right now, because everything else is so dark and gloomy. So whatever you can do to make yourself feel better on a day-to-day basis will work out well. Good news is that the vaccine is going to be approved really soon, so I'm hoping that we can start vaccinating people one of the next days, and that will definitely put a change to things. Not immediately, obviously, it's going to take some time. What I worry about right now is the pressure on the health systems. We have definitely now more admitted to the hospital than we've ever had before. It took a lot of time before we came up to those numbers that we had in April and May, but they're there now and they keep rising every day, and we have surpassed 1,000 deaths now, and it's still really sad as well. Yeah, and people don't seem to understand the danger of this situation that we're in. They still think that it's just another flu, and that's annoying. Yeah, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.